Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, whenever you are watching this broadcast, or if you're not here live, then it's the video replay. So welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being in the portal. And welcome to our new space. So for those of you who aren't in the private Facebook group for our group, The Portal, I did a little video tour of this studio. It's an office and a studio space. Basically, we moved in, I think it was March the 1st, but it really kind of became functional and finally operational a couple of weeks ago. And we launched it with the broadcast that I did with Regina Meredith to launch this baby. So thank you to all of you who have supported the book, Energy Speaks. It's been really quite an amazing month for us. And I wanted to share a little bit about that with you before we go into an energy update and some of your questions. So one of the things that I wanted to share with all of you guys, because I know you're very connected to the work or the Z's, unless you're very new here, in which case, welcome. Thank you for being here. The most interesting experience around this book has happened, which is, as you may have heard me mention on the broadcast with Regina, if you've watched it. If not, you can get it at energyspeaksbook.com, energyspeaksbook.com. It's a free 1 hour, 10 minute video conversation with Regina, and she interviews the Z's for about 30 minutes as well, which was great. You may have heard me mention that this book wasn't the book we were going to do. It was going to be a completely different book. It wasn't going to be channeled. And yet, what I'm so happy about is the fact that we did this book has done two things. Number one, I'm really loving seeing how people are responding to it. So thank you, all of you who wrote a review on Amazon. If you bought your book from Amazon, number one, because it's great to see how you're experiencing it. And number two, because it really helps other people figure out whether the book is for them. I don't know about you guys, but when I shop on Amazon, I read loads of reviews, or I kind of just read a few to get a sense of whether or not it's resonant for me. So thank you for those of you that have written reviews. If you haven't yet and you have the book, I'd be grateful if you would. But not just seeing how it's affecting the readers, but it's been interesting for me. The publishers organized, at the moment, I think we're up to about 48 interviews for me, for the book, on various people's podcasts. I did Coast to Coast AM last week with George Nuri and various different people. So I'm meeting really lovely people, really nice hosts of shows I've never met before. But what's so fascinating about it to me, and for those of us who've been with channeling for years, is there seems to be a curiosity about what channeling is, and there seems to be a real change around how much more normal this kind of communication is becoming for people. So if you know me well enough, you'll know that I say channeling is great as part of a balanced spiritual diet. So that means we have to take care of our body, we have to take care of our mind, we take care of our spirituality. I've always cautioned people about letting channeling be their guru. And, I've met people who've said, oh, my channel said I've got to do this, and now my channel said I've got to do this. And I've always said, no, that's not how it works. If your best friend gave you advice that you didn't agree with, even though normally she or he gives you great advice, you wouldn't follow it. And if you would, then there's a codependency in that relationship that you might want to look at. You might want to trust yourself. And it's the same with channeling. Channeling opens up, especially when channeling guides or some people experience it as God or source energy. However you experience it, it elevates us in a way that really does open us beyond our human limitations. And sometimes people think that our human limitations are the problem. And I've never thought that, because the Z's have never explained it that way to me. They've always said, you're here on the earth in the body having an experience. And for many of you who identify as light workers, you are a bridge generation. So you are helping to normalize consciousness on the planet. But that doesn't always mean being the person in your group to explain the ninth dimension to somebody, because as we all know, if the ninth dimension doesn't mean anything to you, or you haven't had direct experience of it, it's a concept. You know, it's someone talking to you about a possible concept. Now, maybe they're talking to you about the ninth dimension and something in your body crackles and you go, oh, I don't quite know why, but something about that feels true to me. But more often than not, concepts distance people. What I mean by being an ambassador of consciousness as a light worker is the part of you that can get involved in an awkward conversation at the family dinner table and help to bring an energy of resolution or peace. Sometimes resolution and peace is not what the group want. So you also have to know when to back out, because it's not that you should be in charge of creating peace, or that if you don't create peace, you failed. But this time that we're living in is an opportunity for all of us to maybe practice what you preach is probably the wrong way of putting it, but there is a very big shift in people. And I've met some show hosts who aren't as used to things like channeling. And they have been very interested in what is intuition, what is channeling, because I think more and more people are beginning to know that this is just a part of us. In the same way that we can all go running and we all know what running is like, and it has an effect on our physical body, it has an effect on our health, it has an effect on our tiredness. We all know that we're capable of doing that. I think most of us weren't told we're capable of being intuitive. We're capable of channeling if we choose to, if we want to. And that can become a really important aspect of how you navigate your life. And the byproduct is who you become as a result. So it's interesting with the book, you know, people ask me about the chapters and why these chapters. And one of the things I've heard a lot is there's a real range of topics. And I said, well, in a way, you know, I didn't realize this at the time, but because these channels have come from, say, 10 years of working with disease, and they were very carefully chosen, I said, I feel like it's a map of everything I've learned from. And it doesn't mean that I am always living in those frequencies at all, but it does mean that those frequencies have impacted who I am as a human being, and I have become more calibrated to this way of living more of the time than before I knew it. So the reason I bring that up is it's been really interesting, because I've worked with you guys, the community that I serve, and you know, I know people come and go. Like someone might tune in on what I'm doing for a month and then never come back, and they got what they needed. And some of you I know have been aligned with my work as one of your points of teaching or consciousness or energetic calibration for years. And it's interesting to see this change happening. And it's only because I've been sent out to do all these interviews in a way that I haven't in the past, that I'm seeing it. And I'm having conversations with people because I'm being asked to stand for something to them. And what it's informing me about is how curious people are becoming about this stuff. Now, the funny thing is, the Z's predicted this to me years ago. They said, oh, you're going to see after 2012, people are going to become increasingly interested in their own consciousness, increasingly interested in ways they can improve and enhance their life. And because of that, they will start looking at all the different possibilities for themselves. And it's interesting to look at the world and go, wow, that really is happening. So I share all of this because I know that this is a broadcast where we come together so that I can give you an energy update, a deep dive energy update, and that you can ask some questions of me and the Z's, and we have this big group conversation. That's kind of really what this broadcast always feels like to me. But I wanted you to know what's going on, because you guys are deeply, deeply connected to this. Like I said at the beginning of the book, you know, I've learned to do this work because I've listened to all of you, even if you haven't been with me for 15 years. I've spent 15 years serving this mission for myself and for others. And so it feels very much our community that this past month there has been this wave of interest and new people coming to this work. And I share that with you because I was just tuning in before this broadcast going, okay, where are we going to start? And it came to me clearly to just share with you a little bit of what's been going on in the last few weeks, because there is a ripple effect that's happening on the planet. And the reason I specifically wanted to share this with you is because I know many of you will already be noticing it. But if you aren't noticing it, just pay attention, because I feel like there is a real call to service that has been happening for years, but is amplifying now. Doesn't mean you can't have your own spiritual path. And I know that for many of us who are sensitive, we definitely need to have our moments where we're with our own journey and with our own growth. But the call to serve others who are seeking consciousness, whether that's through a conversation, whether that's through a loving look, when you see somebody who's looking down on the street and you don't know who they are, but you can give them a loving look. You can be beyond your own fear of rejection or them not smiling back, because you can see, you're like, I could just send them some love. Won't cost me anything. It's okay that they don't smile back. It's okay that they look a little bit afraid, because who knows, the next time that happens to them, they might be able to receive it a bit more. The reason I bring this up is there was a feeling that you're going to find it easier to be generous with your service. That's a theme that I feel for this community is very true, and that often being generous with your service is the remedy for loneliness, self-pain, self-problems, being able to go out there and be a conduit for good energy for someone else. As always, you've heard me say this a million times if you've been with me for a few years. Yeah, there are times we're not in the mood to do that. And there are times that we're going through recovery from big grief, big trauma, and we do need to kind of pull back for a few weeks or months, or in some cases even a year. So you'll know if you're in one of those phases. But for the rest of you and us, the message is, where can you be generous with your consciousness? Hi, I'm Lee, and I'm here to tell you about my monthly members community, The Portal. I created The Portal to be an affordable, intimate place where you can go deeper with my work. So if you like the energy updates that I do each month and you want to go further and you're interested in some of the channeling that I do, then The Portal is the place for you. The main thing that I love the most about The Portal is my monthly energy tune-up, which is a worldwide video broadcast. We do it live, and in the broadcast I go deeper on the themes of the energy updates. So not only looking at what's going on energetically in the world in a deeper way, but also what might be coming up for the community, because I tune in on you guys to bring an energy update specifically for those of you in The Portal every month. After that, I take as many of your questions as I can, and you can get through a lot in 90 minutes. So I answer questions both from my energy intuitive standpoint, and then I also channel the Z's and take a series of questions from the Z's. So we get the horizontal frequency and then we get the higher frequency. It makes for a really healing call, and everybody reports a real shift when they experience this. And if you can't join us live, you can't make it, we archive all of the videos 24 hours later, and they'll be there for the whole year. Every month you'll receive my latest MP3, and this can be anything from a channeling and a sound healing. Often we record these at live events, so if you can't make any of my live events around the world, it's a way to tune in on the energy of what's brewing with our worldwide community. And these are available to you in The Portal the month they release, and then they're stored and archived in your library as a member so that you can access them at any time. The other things that you get are a store discount on all audio and MP3s. That's 25% off. You get priority discount prices on online courses. There is an exclusive energy body update from my husband, Stephen Washington, every single month. So his Qigong medicine weaves into the themes of the month to help you process physically through your energy field what you might be going through, and that's exclusively available in the portal. And if you like social media and you enjoy Facebook, we have a thriving Facebook members community where you can share your stories, your experiences, what's going on for you, what's coming up. And it's behind a wall because it's a private group, so it creates a deeper intimacy and a safer space to explore. So if you would like to try the portal, we would love to have you. You can try it for 1 month, see if you like it, because you can cancel anytime. And when you do join the portal, we're grateful that you want to go deeper and join the journey that we're all on as a worldwide community. So hope to see you in there.